Today, we are doing some smoked ribs. My dad's visiting in town. We're gonna throw them out on the smoker and enjoy an amazing dinner. All right, so today I have 2 racks of baby back ribs. One's 2.9 pounds, the other's 3.2 pounds. Really, really easy. All you need essentially, a knife and a spoon to get these prepped and some kind of a rub. I really like this Killer Hogs barbecue, hot barbecue rub. It's not real spicy or hot, but man, it's got some great color and an amazing flavor. So let's go ahead and get these opened up and then we'll season them up and I'll show you how to trim that silver skin off the back so that when you bite into them, they break apart very easily. You can leave that on if you like your ribs to have a bite. You want to be able to cut them and hold them and not risk the meat falling off the bone. But I like to have it just come off really easy. You could darn near gum it off the bones if you wanted to. So now I don't want to completely dry these, but I'm going to pat them just a tiny bit dry. Wipe off my cutting board of any of those drippings. Yeah, that's because I want this to essentially have a little bit of that moisture. Now, I'm not even throwing my paper towel away. I'm going to show you how we end up doing this. Dry your fingers because it's a lot easier to do with them dry. You just want to find a spot on the rib and slowly along the bone, you want to work a spoon into this little silver skin. I'm at about the second or third to the end ribs, usually about where I start here. There you go, and you can see we're just working that underneath there. You want to get it all the way across here. This is easiest if you don't break the skin. If you don't get a hole in it, it's much, much easier. So I'm just putting 2 fingers in here and slowly working this loose. And you notice I'm coming this way. I want to get it right to the end here. This has a little bit of fat on it. I'm just going to cut that right off of there. Take it all with me. So now I've got my silver skin. Grab it with a paper towel so I can grip it. Pull it right off. We are now ready to season these ribs. That right there is time very well spent. I think that is probably one of the best things you can do to improve the quality of your finished ribs. So we've turned on our smoker. We've got it going at 225 degrees on our pellet smoker. You can do this in a pellet smoker. You could do this in your oven. You can do this on a regular grill. You just want to make sure your temperature's down between 225 and 250. I like to try and do it at 225. Before these dry out from being outside here, let's go ahead and get these seasoned up. Now I know I'm not wearing gloves. I touch the ribs. I'm touching this container. I wash these containers every time before I go put them back in my cabinet. But that's all right. You should take care of your own germs, if you will, at your place. So we're just going to go ahead and give this a nice coating. Do it on the back side. We really want to get that meat completely covered. I pat it down just a little bit, and now we're just going to let it sit. Now you could have used mustard as your binder. However, when you do it this way, essentially what happens is the salt in this rub goes down into the meat. It begins to extract out some of the moisture. That moisture then hits the dry rub and turns it more into a paste. I always describe it as, you know it's ready to go on when it sort of looks like it's covered in mud. It's a little bit damp. It looks like damp dirt. No, that's not appetizing for food, but I hear mud, I get excited. I think that means good rub. All right, these have sat for about 10 minutes. You can sort of see what I'm talking about, how they sort of look a little bit like wet dirt, mud. That's the way I always describe it. Beautiful color on this Killer Hog stuff. So let's go ahead and get these popped into the 225 degree smoke. Notice I put my grate up pretty high. Wanted to do that just to keep it away from the flame down below. Get these guys popped right in here. With those looking good, let's close it up. We leave these in here for 3 hours. This is the 3-2-1 method. That's 3 hours uncovered at 225, 2 hours wrapped with a little bit of moisture in it for, again, 2 hours, and then the last hour to sauce and baste them outside of their wrap. This is a simple, easy way to do ribs. We'll see you back here in 3 hours, or in your time, about 1 second. And just like that, it's been 3 hours. So we're gonna go ahead and get these guys pulled out of here. Now, the second part of this phase is the 2 hour phase. This is where we wrap it in either foil to make them fall off the bone tender, or paper to make them hold up on the bone where you have to bite them off, but they're still unbelievably soft and juicy and tender. So let's start by just taking this guy here and connecting 2 pieces of foil together. I just fold it over like a fan a few times. Then open that up. Take a look at that. Now, I like to spray this with a little bit of apple juice or apple cider vinegar. You just want to get a little bit of liquid in there. Now, I'm not going to do anything else to this. All I'm going to do is wrap this. Again, go once, twice. Now I fold this over. Now one trick you can do is put a couple of tabs of butter in here. That's another amazing thing to do. Or, really easy, put a couple of ice cubes in there. That ice will melt, the water will stay in there, it will begin to steam and make it unbelievably tender. So I fold this so it's a little narrower at this end than that end, and we're just gonna roll this right up. That is ready to go back in just a moment. Now we're gonna do the same thing with our paper. Again, just like we did before, we're gonna create a little fold here. So we join these together, folding this over about 1.5 inches, and then I take that fold and fold that over again. So I don't know, 3/4 of an inch if I actually measured that correctly. And then you just pull the two pieces apart and fold it again so it's nice and flat. Let me show you what this guy looks like before we wrap it. Tell me this doesn't look beautiful. Fold this over, roll it once, hold this crease. You want to make sure this stays good and creased. And now I'm going to fold this over, narrower on the outside than on the inside. Same with on this side. And we're going to keep on rolling this. Now I like to keep track of which side is the top of the ribs, the concave or convex. Hell, I don't remember which is which. Let's get these put right back in the grill. 225 for 2 more hours. With that, we'll be back in just a bit. I'll see you in 2 hours, or in your time, about 4 seconds. And just like that, 2 more hours has gone by. So let me get some gloves on. We'll take these out. We're going to unwrap them, and we're going to sauce them as the last step. I'm going to start with the paper wrapped one. Look at that. Now these look almost done. They are unbelievably tender. I can tell because as I lifted it, I can start to see the bones easily separating from the meat. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this back in. We're going to set it right on the rack so that we can sauce this. Now the last phase of this is 1 hour uncovered. You don't really have to let it go the full hour. That's just in case you want to take like 4 15-minute increments and baste them with a nice sauce. I'm just going to fold this under and slide these guys right on here. Just leaving this paper right down in the grill for a moment, and we'll pull this foil one out as well. Now typically when you do foil versus paper, you'll end up with an even softer or more tender rib, just because it's basted so much more in the juice, and I can see the extra juice that's down in the bottom of this. Because this one is so tender, I am going to leverage a spatula here to help get underneath these guys. We're going to do this quick so it doesn't drip on the patio. Now what I want to do is I'm going to make this kind of like a little bit of a boat here, and I'm going to pour some of this juice right onto those ribs. Create a little spout at the end just so I can pick this up and pour a bit here. Over here. Yeah, right here. Hey, do me a favor. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more like it, subscribe to the channel and click on that little bell notification so you get notified of new videos. Thanks. I'm going to close this up, get this into the trash, and then we're going to sauce this. Now here's the beauty of barbecue. You can go ahead and sauce these ribs, or you could just put them inside of a tub or wrap them and let them sit for about 30 minutes and serve them. They are unbelievably tender. They will fall apart right off the bone. Pulling that silver skin off helps. Now I'm going to go ahead and sauce these. I will probably do 2 10-minute sauces. I'll put the sauce on, let it sit for 10 minutes, bake on there a little bit, do another layer of sauce. I don't want it to be too thick. Use whatever you want. I love this honey barbecue sauce for Sweet Baby Ray's. I think it's really good. It's a buy off the shelf kind of thing and absolutely delicious. All right, let's get this grill open, and I am going to pull my rack out just because it makes the saucing process a little bit easier. Whew. Now I don't like my sauce to be real thick on ribs. I want to be able to pick them up and not have it be completely messy. So I'm just going to take my little brush here. I'm going to paint this thinly over the whole thing. Now I'm just going to close this up and let it go for about 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, I went ahead and opened it up, put another little painting of barbecue sauce on it, and it's been another 10 more minutes after that, so about 25 minutes from when you last saw me. And I think we're just going to take them out. I believe these are done enough. I don't necessarily want them to be done any more than this. So we're going to go ahead and pull these guys out and set them right down here on our cutting board and show you what they look like. This is the one that was wrapped in foil. Here's the one that was wrapped in paper. These look pretty amazing. And you can see how the bones have, the meat's pulled back on the bones a bit. Just completely tender. It's just falling right off of there. See that? I could pull that bone out very easily. I'm trying to find the spot right between the bones to grab that. Look at that. All right, one from the foil wrapped and one from the paper wrapped to show you just how tender this is. When the bones come out that clean, look, I got a little bit on there. That's bon appetit. Now the one from the paper is a little bit more firm. It's got a bite, not a toughness, but a bite. You can sort of hold it up and do just fine with it, though it looks like the meat would separate very easily from that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite of this. This one will be good. It'll have that little bit of a, you gotta bite through it kind of thing. It's not tough at all. I'm trying to keep myself from burning my lips. I'm scorching hot. My God, that's phenomenal. If you wrap it in paper, you'll get a little bit of these outer edges with a bit of bark on it. When you wrap it in foil, you'll get more of a pulled pork texture where it's really, really moist. That one was the paper. This is the wrapped in foil one. Look, I just went to pick it up and the entire piece of meat fell right off the bone there. Clean bone coming off. I'm just going to take a bite of this one, and you can see just how soft and tender it is. It's some kind of wonderful. 3-2-1 method. It is foolproof. You just follow along. You really need the 3 and the 2. The 1 is optional, and these are absolutely great. Now, if you like a saucy rib, take the time. Every 10 minutes, go ahead and re-sauce and do that 3 to 4 times during the end of the cook. I did it twice. It could certainly be a little bit more sauced, but I like it this way. That way each individual person can decide whether they want to put some additional sauce on themselves or not. I'm going to carry the rest in the house for the family to eat. But I get the taste test because I'm doing the video. Safe and happy grilling, y'all. Bye now.